Welcome to Everything You Need to Know About the Ascension of Humanity, the podcast where ancient wisdom meets modern science and spiritual evolution gets real. I'm Heather, an energy healer, channel, and spiritual coach with Divine Ascension Company. Each week, we're diving deep into the mysteries of human consciousness, spiritual awakening, and the profound transformation happening within us and around us. But here's the thing. We're not doing this with our heads in the clouds. We're bringing neuroscience, psychology, quantum physics, and cutting-edge research to the table alongside meditation, energy work, and timeless spiritual teachings. Because the truth is, the ascension of humanity isn't some far-off cosmic event. It's happening right now in the choices we make, the awareness we cultivate, and the healing we do within ourselves. Whether you're curious about how mindfulness literally rewires your brain, why shadow work is backed by depth psychology, or what coherence between your heart and mind actually means scientifically, you're in the right place. We'll explore practices like breathwork, meditation, and emotional alchemy, not as abstract concepts, but as tangible tools grounded in both spiritual wisdom and scientific understanding. And here's where it gets even better. In our bonus episodes, you'll hear from real people sharing real stories. These are the warriors, the healers, the everyday seekers who've walked through their own darkness and found their light. They'll share their breakthroughs, their struggles, and the resources that actually helped them along the way. Because personal growth isn't a solo journey, and you deserve to know you're not alone. So whether you're just beginning to question the nature of reality, or you're deep in your spiritual practice, this podcast is your companion on the path. It's time to expand, to awaken, and to rise together. Let's begin. Hey, it's Heather. Today I'm talking to Craig Harry, who's been doing past life regression hypnotherapy for 28 years, and his journey into this work is fascinating. Craig started as a skeptic, but after experiencing things that he couldn't explain, including contact with a deceased family member, he went searching for answers. What he found was a massive body of evidence about past lives, reincarnation, and life after death that most people have no idea exists. In this conversation, we're going deep. How past life regression actually works, why some souls choose to stay earthbound instead of crossing over, what happens in the space between lives with the Council of Elders, and a really moving story about a soul who carried guilt across multiple lifetimes until she finally found healing and forgiveness. If you've been curious about past lives, spirit communication, or what happens after we die, this is going to give you a lot to think about. Let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Everything You Need to Know About the Ascension of Humanity. Today we have a very special guest. His name is Craig. I know that past life regression, QHHT, reincarnation, all of these themes kind of come up a lot. And a lot of people are very fascinated by this concept. So we're going to be talking today about that. Craig, how are you doing today?
Very good, thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Of course, I'm super excited to chat with you today. So tell us a little bit about your story. What are you doing? How'd you get there? What's going on?
Sure. My name's Craig Harry, and I'm a past life hypnotherapist from about 28 years now. I'm also a paranormal researcher, so that encompasses a lot. And just curious about the world, life, and how it all works. So I live here in Australia on the Gold Coast, and I was a person of science, still am, but I was mainly a person of science, being an atheist. And it's amazing when something happens in your life that you can't explain, and that is in the paranormal, what we would call the paranormal, that isn't normal science.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you pause, it makes you think, and you go, what is that? And is there more of it? So that started my curiosity, and that started my exploring all these subjects. And I wanted to mainly find out for myself if they were real or not. And 28 years later, wow, what a journey. And it's changed my life profoundly. Yeah.
I can imagine. And it's interesting too, because ghost hunting and the paranormal is kind of part of my story as well. And that's not something that I find very typical. It does happen, but it's not very common to
Yeah,
intertwine those together. So tell me a little bit about your paranormal experiences.
sure. I actually had a passion for UFOs back in the very beginning, when I was about 8 years old. My family and I were lucky enough to witness one, and that started my curiosity running. And believe it or not, that was still within the realms of science for me. It was just another branch of technology. So I was into that. But the more I read about UFOs and encounters with them, the more I was coming up against subjects from people that had had contact with them, that they were talking about spirit and they were talking about reincarnation. And that was very foreign to me. I was brought up a Christian, and I'm like, this is kind of like one of those Asian religions. What's going on here? So that was my first kind of contact with the subject. And you put it in the too hard basket for the time being, and you go, "I'll come back to that one day." But yeah, I just didn't know at the time too much about it. And it was only when I was about 22 that I lost a family member. And not only that, our family had evidence that our family member had survived after death and could move objects and could affect electrical equipment within their house.
Mm-hmm.
So when you can see the evidence firsthand, when you can see something like that that defies the normal laws of physics, that really starts your curiosity running.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I just started to read every book I could on the subject of paranormal, ghost, spirit, survival after death, near-death experiences, and with the kind of scientific approach, I wanted to approach it and find out the evidence for myself. I wanted to find out what was factual for myself, if I could find it, whether going to clairvoyance or mediums, however I could find it. And if you search long enough, yes, you do find more evidence that confirms it. And I was just amazed that there was a big wow moment in your life where everything pivots and changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. And to kind of emphasize your point, like I lived in a haunted house when I was in middle school. And I was also an atheist, a person of science. I had to see it to believe it.
Yeah.
And when you're sitting in a room and you hear banging on the wall, no one did it, and you see things move in the room with no one touching it, like that really kind of shifts something in your perspective, in your mindset, in your just having that first first person experience, that observation, it really kind of is very life changing.
It is. It is. It's like seeing a lunar eclipse for the first time. People can talk about it, but until you see it, and then you can understand it's real.
Mm-hmm.
And especially with the paranormal and, like you say, objects moving or electrical interference with objects and that you can't explain any other way. There is no other explanation.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see it, it's your mind tries to rationally think, oh, there has to be an explanation for it, or did I really see that?
Mm-hmm. Oh, it was the wind. The wind knocked this really heavy object over. Like there's no wind.
Yeah. And like anything unknown,
Mm-hmm.
humans get afraid of the unknown, so they back away from it.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it was evidence of survival after death. So for me, that changed my life, that it wasn't just theory anymore. Here was evidence that it's real. And so I had to start all over again and understand how all this works. So for me, religion was nice. It was a nice theory, But for me, I couldn't find any evidence up till that point when you can see physical evidence, and then that's just a wow moment. You can either back away from it and ignore it and not talk about it, or you can explore it. And science is always exploring the unknown and finding the evidence if you're brave enough to do that.
Right.
And, it all depends. The great explorers in science, they were brave enough to charter uncharted waters and to go out on a limb with a new theory. And for me, I was amazed to find so many books and everything written on the subject by medical trained professionals. And I was like, why haven't I heard about this before? Because people don't talk about it a lot. But once you start reading the evidence out there, I was like, wow, okay, I can put the information together with what I saw and heard and felt. So yes, then it becomes a solid object, a real thing.
Right.
Yeah.
So you listed off a bunch of concepts that you discovered through your research of the paranormal, like spirit and reincarnation and all that. So what made you choose to get into past life regression?
The more I researched with these very well written books like Dr. Brian Weiss, professor of psychiatry, who wrote Many Lives, Many Masters, that was about his experience with past life regressions. And that was mentioned in other research I was doing about near-death experiences, about other professionals writing about that. And there's a wonderful documentary by the BBC called The Day I Died. And that has a mountain of medical professionals coming forward telling what they've found about survival after death, and also the near-death experience people themselves, while attached to recording information like EEGs and ECGs. And that backed up the evidence that there was survival after death too. So while on that subject, the subject of reincarnation and past lives would come up with near-death experience people or other subjects. So it was just part and parcel. The next progression on from near-death experiences was exploring, do we have these past lives? And there was several good books again that I started reading. And Many Lives, Many Masters. I didn't really go out to find the book. It was on a friend's bookshelf. And out of curiosity, I said, can I read this? And they're like, yeah, sure. So that was another big wow moment. I was like, this is fascinating. It was certainly explain how life works, because from an atheist point of view, you can understand evolution and biology and everything, but in your heart, it kind of leaves you a bit empty. You go, is this all it is? Just a big chaos theory.
Right.
And when I was reading about reincarnation, the survival of the soul, and that life is a learning journey that we have, like in a school, and we have different levels of school that we go through and different past lives, it made a lot of sense. But I wanted to explore that for myself. So it was mainly out of curiosity that I wanted to see, is it possible to regress someone through hypnosis? So I went and I did the hypnosis courses, and I just wanted to do it for myself to see if it could be replicated. So I practiced on my friends for the first year, and they were amazing. They were like, yeah, we'll give this a go. And I was amazed. It worked. We could regress back to their past lives as per what Dr. Brian Weiss was describing. And that was probably after that first year, that's when I started taking clients from the public, and hundreds of clients later, and 28 years later, there's a wealth of information that's come through about those past lives and contact with our spiritual teachers that I still pinch myself and go, wow, is this real? Yes.
Have you been able to do past life regression on yourself?
That's very difficult because I've got an analytical mind. So for me, yeah, that would be a problem. I've been to clairvoyants and they've been amazing. They've been able to tell me information about loved ones on the other side and about past lives of myself that just 100% correct. That no one could guess that. So that's about the closest that I myself. I no, memory serves me correct. I did have a partial glimpse of a past life. I'd say probably 20 seconds worth.
Mm-hmm.
I did, yes. A good friend tried, and it took hours to get that. I was very happy, and it made a lot of sense because I'm a person that has a bit of a phobia about deep water.
Mm-hmm.
And I love swimming, I love diving, but deep water where you can't see the bottom, that freaks me out.
Yeah.
So this glimpse of a past life, I was a Fiji Islander and I jumped in the water from my dugout canoe with my other fellow paddlers and had to reattach the outrigger on the canoe. And yeah, big old tiger shark came up.
Oh,
and took
no.
me. Yeah, yeah. And just those couple of seconds worth, I was aware of what happened, and I was aware, yeah, that was me. So, yeah, that's about the closest I've had, and it made a lot of sense for me. Yeah,
And that's interesting too for the people with the analytical minds, because I know that a lot of people are like that, and I'm like that as well. I'm slowly getting better as I go through my journey, but when I did do one QHHT session and my brain didn't want to comply, right? So when I went into hypnosis, and when I first went to go to visit the first life, I actually saw, I don't know if you played video games when you were growing up, but like the two-dimensional like castle from like Mario, like I saw it.
yeah,
But it was very two-dimensional. It was like a stage prop, and it was blocking me from seeing that life. And I actually, like, the QHHT practitioner was like, okay, like, you're in control. This is your life. And I actually just was like, okay. And I realized that it was just a prop, and I just knocked it over. And
yeah.
my brain finally allowed myself to go into that life and whatever I was looking for. It was slow process at first. I could only see a little bit, but as I let myself relax and like just go
Yeah.
along with it, because I didn't think I could be hypnotized to begin with. So this was all very
Yeah.
new for me, but I actually was able to get in there and visit two lives. So it is
That's
possible.
good.
Yeah.
It is possible. With my hypnotherapy, I approached it like I was treating myself. That you need to allow your mind to decompress, as so to speak. You have to allow your mind to immerse into this area. And we're very curious, we're very logical, and yes, you're right. You know, people might have some preconceptions of hypnosis, and I have to allay those fears and say, no, if you don't cluck like a chook now, I can't make you cluck like a chook, because it's your free will. You have free will through this whole process, and you can end it at any stage as well. All I'm doing is helping you. I'm a guide through like a self meditation. But I'm the guide that knows the map, knows the area, and knows the people in it.
Right.
So what I do is I take about an hour to conduct the relaxation down into the hypnagogic stage. I do that because I find there's more success if you slowly go down in steps of relaxation, allowing the mind to understand what's happening, allow it to go, oh, is that all it is? Oh, okay, let's go to the next step. Have a look around. Oh, I can relax because this is all it is. So by slowly relaxing down into that deeper state, I have more success with allowing connection with the client's connection to their soul guides and their past lives. Whereas if you try and rush it, your mind hasn't got a lot of time to digest what's happening and relax fully. So that's what I do, and I find I have success that way. And I find the clients are more relaxed that way. And the more relaxed you are, the more you connect. And yes, a lot of people that I've had as clients, they go, "Oh, I don't think you can hypnotize me." And I go, "That's great. That's fine. Let's just try it. Let's just see where it rolls. Maybe nothing will happen. Maybe something will happen. Who knows? We're just in a boat going down that river, and let's just see where the river takes us."
Right.
And by not having any expectations or pushing for results, you get better results.
Absolutely. Just like anything else, when you
Yeah.
try to force it, it eludes you, right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Exactly. So, yeah, it's just I'm I'm I found out straight away that I have empathy and compassion and intuition about that. So for me, that makes me a good hypnotherapist because I'm always looking out for the client's well-being. I'm always looking out for their comfort. And when I'm regressing someone, I don't want them to get stuck in a trauma or a negative area. I will, just like a movie, how you can fast forward over it, we can do that. And we find out the information once we're past it, like a catch up of what's happening in the movie. Because you've gone through that trauma once, there's no need to traumatize yourself with a second time through it.
Right.
So all we're after is the understanding and the knowledge, the information without the trauma. And it all depends what we need to explore, what we need to have a look at, what their soul guides wish to show them in that movie. So as long as you have that empathy there to look after your clients, to make sure it's a comfortable, enjoyable trip, and that way they'll explore a lot more then. Yes.
So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but what does a past life regression session look like? Like, what's your process? What could a client expect to have as this experience?
Yes. Well, I learned in the beginning never to guarantee someone could access a past life. That's a pitfall. I'm just a facilitator. It's purely up to their soul guides what they'll show them or if they'll show them. So a person could have, say, 50 past lives. It's up to their soul guide, and usually they'll only select between 3 and 5 past lives to have a look at. And that's because they're the most relevant for their soul journey in their present life. They told me in the beginning that they're not there for entertainment. Every life has learning, a purpose, a lesson. And most of the time it's about healing and letting go of the past as well. So they choose what past lives to see. I work with them about what they wish to do, and if nothing comes through, then that's fine, because maybe the client is still apprehensive because their subconscious might be apprehensive. They might know there's a trauma there that they've been blocking out for a while, and now we're going to have a look at it. So the first time around, they might be a bit apprehensive. That's fine, because the first time around, we're just looking and we're just getting used to the process of relaxing under hypnosis. I find the clients that don't connect the first time, they will the second time, because now you understand how the process works and you're more relaxed then. You go, oh yeah, that's all it was, just talking and me lying, relaxing and listening. So that's easy to do. And from a more relaxed state, then they can connect through. Sometimes it may be just a minute or two of vision of that past life. Sometimes it might be hours. It all depends what sort of connection they have, how strong the connection with that past life is, what they need to know through it all. So I can never can tell. That's why I ask the clients to put away at least 3 hours for a regression. Yeah.
And you say that you work with their soul guides. What does that look like? Do you talk to them? Is it just an intuitive knowing? Like, how does that work for you? I know everyone's different, but how does it work for you?
Yeah, for me, it's an amazing process. I haven't got any clairvoyancy or mediumship, just throwing that out there right now. But the only thing I'd have is intuition, which really helps me to get a gut feeling of which direction to go or how the client is feeling about this or that. So that really helps for me. But as far as the rest, it's a conversation with the client. So say the client accesses a past life and they're exploring that past life. We'll explore it like a movie. We'll go to the end of that movie with the death of that life, that person in that life. They'll cross over into spirit, into heaven. And that's where we have contact with their soul guides. I don't hear their soul guides. I don't know what the client's seeing. So I have to ask the client, what are you seeing? What are you hearing? Who's around you? And the client is telling me like a three-way conversation. They're hearing their soul guides talk. They're relaying that back to me. I'm asking questions. They're relaying that back to their soul guides. And it's a game of telephone. Yeah.
Awesome. So I got to ask, do you still do anything with the paranormal stuff, or does it have any kind of relation to your past life regression that you do now?
Oh, yes, it's all intertwined. Absolutely. By having a good open concept of the paranormal, it all branches in. I was giving a talk to a meditation group in a public hall at night, and they were having a great meditation. And I would give my presentation, and then afterwards we were having tea and biscuits. And it was an old hall, so there were solid wooden doors and old locks and everything. And so we're standing near the kitchen area, relaxing and talking afterwards. And someone with their fist hit the back of this wooden door 3 times, enough for the latch on the back to bounce every time they hit it.
Wow.
And we all looked at each other, and I said, "Oh, someone locked out of the hall out the back." And the lady running the night, she said, "No, that leads to the annex where the toilets are, but that door outside is locked." And she said, "Everyone's here and accounted for." So I said, "All right, I'll just have a look." So everyone backed off. I opened the door and explored the annex area, and there was no one in that area, and the door leading to the outside of that room was locked. So we all heard it, we all saw it.
Yeah.
Of course. And
Somebody
no
was
one
trying to
there.
make themselves known.
So it was. One of the ladies had a regression with me weeks later, and she was talking to her soul guide, and we brought it up about what happened that night. And their soul guide said that was the spirit of a young Chinese woman who had been killed in a recent earthquake in China that year. And somehow she had got lost didn't understand she was dead, didn't understand what was happening. She was trying to talk to the living, she was trying to talk to people, but she couldn't get through. And she took off exploring somehow, and with the people there meditating, apparently that produces a light, if you could imagine, of everyone being like-minded and thinking about heaven and love and God, and that light, she could see that light, so that attracted her to where we were. And she was trying to talk to us and tell us she was there, but nothing was working. And she worked out she could actually hit the door and that was the cry for help. Like, I'm here.
Wow.
So her soul guide said that the next week the ladies meditated and asked their guides to come in and help whoever was knocking on that door, and the guides managed to connect with the lost soul and guide her home to heaven.
Oh, wow.
So if you see how it encompasses the whole area of being spiritually aware, being the way spirit works. In this case, there was no past lives, but the energies involved, and he was an earthbound spirit that was lost and needed help. So you've got that aspect, and then you've got other aspects of negative earthbounds as well, that they can haunt certain areas or attach themselves to certain people, all depending on what they're doing. And I've had a few friends that have been messed up by working with negative energies, and they're not aware of protection and cleansing. And they're mainly high school girls that thought it was great fun to try the easy board.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So,
go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, I'm just saying, it's not a toy, and people can get messed up by it, because think of it like a telephone, and you can dial a random number, and you don't know who you're talking to, and you're giving information like, "Oh, I live here, and this is my house, and the door's unlocked. Come on in." Yep, that's how dangerous it is when you're not aware of who you're trying to contact or who is talking back without your soul guides involved. And they can pick up negative energy spirits of earthbounds, people that are messed up and don't want to go to heaven.
Right.
And so they're looking for people to attach to and to mess with for fun, out of boredom. And it can happen. So it's rare, but it's mainly from drugs and alcohol, or in this case, curiosity without protecting themselves psychically, spiritually. And any of the shamans and spiritual people, they would always do protection before they went into spirit or used any form of contacting spirit. They would do protection and prayers, incense, holy water, all of those things are great, because thought becomes energy, and the more we think on that, the more we connect to the light, the more we connect to the positive energies, and that helps to protect us when we're doing these things. Yes.
Yeah. And I still do ghost hunting a lot, and I just moved to Washington State from the East Coast, and there's this really little cemetery, but there's an older part where there's a lot of unmarked graves and a newer part. And when the people that I've gone there with have been there before, and one girl was pushed to the ground. This really big guy, like football player stature, he got pushed, and there's this dark entity on this older side of the cemetery. And let me preface this by saying that when I go out and do these things, I am fully protected. I have my protection bubble that I do. I have Mother Gaia, Gabriel, Archangel Michael there to protect as well. So there are steps taken, and I don't recommend anybody just go try this. But we've gone and we've spoken with this dark entity, and I've asked this energy if it wanted me to help it cross over to the other side, to go to heaven. And he was like, basically, no, I don't want your help. He is enjoying being this dark entity. He likes where he's at. He likes messing with people, and he is completely satisfied with this afterlife that he has chosen. So it's interesting to see like the flip side of that, where the guides can help, that spirit that you encountered cross over. But there's also ones that they just don't want to, and that's fine too.
Yeah. As to understand us as a soul, when we're in heaven, our true home world, our spiritual home world, we're surrounded by light and love. And we know we're eternal, we're free from pain, hunger, fear, trauma, all of that. It's a wonderful environment, but you don't learn as much.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when we come down into the physical form and how hard the physical life is and how we have to make bonds of friendship and relationships and everything like that, it becomes part of our soul, those life lessons we learn down here, good or bad.
Mm-hmm.
They all are lessons that help to for our soul to grow. But it's all about free will. We're not forced to come down and live a life. We're not forced to do a certain life lesson. We're always presented with free will as a soul.
Mm-hmm.
That's the number one law of free will.
Mm-hmm.
So it's only with agreement that we do these things. Well, say that body ends, and in this case, this soul in the cemetery, let's say he was a criminal and he enjoyed being a criminal,
Mm-hmm.
or negative acts. And he goes, well, I don't want to go back to heaven because I'll get in trouble and all of that. I'll just hang out down here on the earth plane and I'll cause trouble, just for kicks.
Mm-hmm.
Or whatever hang up they still have over their physical life, because they're still the same person. Just because they've died doesn't mean they're enlightened.
Mm-hmm.
They're still the same personality as they were when they were in a physical body. So they haven't come home and connected with their higher self.
Right.
So it's just an extension. They just haven't got their body anymore. So they've still got the same hang-ups. Now, their karma clock is still ticking.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever negative acts they're doing as an earthbound, that's still going on their karma record.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as earthbounds go, as far as ghosts go, I say to people, because they say, aren't you scared of them? And I go, no, not really. I said, I'm more scared of the living. They can hold weapons.
Yeah.
So it might be unnerving to be around a negative entity or a ghost or something like that. But in the end, the living are more dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
But in saying that, they can really wreck a nice home. They can really wreck relationships and they can really wreck people's mental health if they're not aware of what's happening.
Right.
So, yes, you can use protection and absolutely call upon your soul guides, the archangels, especially Archangel Michael, and call in the big guns to help you. And it's your free will again to block them out, to use your tools of protection, to send them on their way, to cleanse your house, to get rid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't mean they have to be rescued, but they can't live in your house. They can't mess with you anymore because you are now protected.
Right.
So you can move them on. Now, sure, you can say prayers and say, I hope that person's soul guides come and pick them up. They might turn up. And again, it's his free will. If he doesn't want to go home, he doesn't have to. I had one client, she did a regression back to the 1800s in England, and she married this handsome man in their town, and she didn't know it, but turns out he was an alcoholic, and she was trying her best to make a good marriage and life, and she got pregnant, and he wasn't happy about that either. And she thought, well, maybe the baby will help, to make the marriage or to make the relationship. But it didn't really. He was cruel and cold, and she basically gave birth to the baby on her own in the house. He didn't tend to her at all. So whether she had postnatal depression or something like that, but she thought, well, the husband really hates her. Maybe he'll love the child without her around. So she made the fatal error of thinking she would end her life for the baby's sake. Like I said, it might have been postnatal depression, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So the husband came home, found her hanging from the rafters and the baby on the table with a note. And unfortunately, the husband decided to smother the child.
Wow.
And blame it on the mother.
Mm-hmm.
And that way he got rid of the mother and the baby, and he was free again.
Right.
So she was horrified when she was in spirit because she could see what happened to the baby.
Mm-hmm.
She went to the cemetery where she was buried and the baby was buried, and she just could not forgive herself. And she haunted that cemetery for a long, long time.
Wow.
And it was a good 100 years that she was there, and her soul guides would turn up and say, "Aren't you bored? Don't you want to come home?" And she'd go, "No, I don't deserve to come back to heaven from what I did."
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, "Well, we forgive you. You know, we understand these things happen. They're all lessons. You know, come on home. We'll talk about it."
Mm-hmm.
And she would not. And like another, 100 years had gone past, and they kept dropping into her and saying, "Do you want to come home now?" And she's like, "No, no, I still don't forgive myself." So they used a different tact, and they said, "Well, don't you want to see how your son's doing, how he's living in his new physical life here on earth?" And she's going, "Oh, what? He's reincarnated." And they're like, "Yeah, yeah, and don't you want to come and see how he's going?" And she's like, "All right, but no tricks." They're like, "No, no, no, no tricks. Just step into this white room and like on the wall is like a TV screen. You'll be able to see his life, that way." And she's like, "All right." So she walks into the white room and she's seeing a bit of the life, and the door seals behind her, and this white room gets brighter and brighter and brighter with the white light. And she goes, "You've tricked me. We're going to heaven." And they just had a nice grin on their face. And once she got back to heaven and she could heal, and her soul guides to talk to her, once she was healing and she got in touch with her higher self and lost that kind of power of that personality,
Mm-hmm.
then she could go, "Right, okay, now I understand. Now I understand it all." Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the good news was she's a friend of mine in this life, and her soul guides in her regression told her that she would have a son, a baby son, and it would be the soul of that baby she lost in the 1800s.
Nice.
They would be together again.
Mm-hmm.
And about 2 years after that regression, she gave birth to a baby boy.
Nice. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put the karmic, balance
Yes.
scale back into balance, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. It can all be balanced. And that's the thing. In spirit, they can see that spirit is indestructible energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's eternal energy, the soul.
Right.
And a human life is just, it's like a couple of weeks at school, and then you can come home for school holidays. It's a lesson, you can do different things and you can learn good or bad, but deep down, the soul knows they can come home. The only problem is when we agree to be born, we agree to the contract to forget.
Yeah.
And we forget that we're spirit. We forget about heaven, and we forget what we agreed to do in this life.
Mm-hmm.
So we really feel this is the first time we've lived. We can't understand why certain things happen in life or the situations we're in.
Mm-hmm.
All we can do is just go by our gut feelings and do the best we can at the time.
Mm-hmm. And
that's what spirit wants, our true feelings on a subject, our true reactions to them.
Mm-hmm.
As we don't know the rules, and we're just trying to do our best. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And that's all you can do.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. And if spirit didn't want us to access our past lives and have contact through hypnosis, it wouldn't work.
Right.
So the good thing is that spirit, if someone's searching for answers and they're trying to find out more to life, and they find a medium or a past life regression, they are allowed to explore that. It's like a student walking up to the teacher in the classroom and saying, "I don't quite understand this lesson is it this way or that way?
Mm-hmm.
How does this work? And the teacher can't give you the answer, but they can steer you in the right direction for you to solve it.
Right.
Yes.
And again, it all comes back to that free will too. Like, you have to take the first step and ask permission.
Yes.
Yeah. Or give them permission
Yes.
and ask for help.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly. And it's all about free will. Ask and you will find,
Mm-hmm.
search and you will find too. And it's all about us wanting to know more. Sometimes we're lucky and a good friend will loan us a book or a movie or a documentary,
right,
and say, what do you think of this? Again, it's up to you whether you take it and go, oh, wow, this has changed my life. Or you just go, oh, that was a weird book. Yeah, rubbish.
Right. Right.
That's our free will.
Mm-hmm. So do you have a practice, and are you working on any projects or doing anything right now?
I have my hypnotherapy practice here in Australia on the Gold Coast. And I just like to do public talks and podcasts just to share the information that I'm finding from there. One day I will write a book. I still am in the process of working on that, but
it's difficult.
Meantime, it is.
I'm sorry, it's not difficult. It's just time consuming.
Yes,
yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Yes, if you had all the other distractions in life taken care of, then you could go, right, I could do this now.
Right. So if someone was interested in getting a past life regression session from you, how would they find you? Do you have a website? Are you on social media?
In Australia, you could use Google for Craig Harry, hypnotherapist. And other than that, I would say if you're in America, I do believe that Dr. Brian Weiss has a foundation of some sort that he could recommend past life hypnotherapists that way. I also believe that there's another excellent book I wish to tell everyone about. It's by Michael Newton, and it's called Destiny of Souls. He's got several books. There's Journey of Souls, and then there's other ones about healing. I would just recommend Destiny of Souls. You buy that one book. It's like an encyclopedia, and it will answer all the questions you've got on life, heaven, spirit, karma, everything. And I have validated that book 100% with my own clients here in Australia that have never read his book. So that's one book I do recommend to everyone. And that goes on to very deeper levels of spirit, heaven, life, how all the process works. And I'd have to say I was regressing clients for about 2 years until I discovered that book. And I was just like, wow, some of the concepts in here are just like way out there. But in that 2 years, I hadn't heard of these other areas of regression hypnosis that you could take a client to. And I thought, okay, well, next time I'm doing a regression, I will see if these areas exist for my client to explore. But the number one rule is not to lead the client in saying, I want them to go to point A, and then I put that idea in their mind that point A exists. So I don't want to lead anyone by my suggestion.
Right.
So because a lot of people say, oh, that's where false memories come from, because you're leading the client, you're telling them that idea. So as a hypnotherapist, if you want to do it correctly, you have to allow the client to explore. You can certainly say, well, you can turn left here or you can turn right here. But you're not bringing up the subject of A or B. You're just saying you can turn left or right here, whichever one you want to go to. Now, can you describe the area you're in? And then they can tell you what they're in. And then once they name it and explain what it is, which you're well aware of, then you can lead them more into that area and more areas to explore. So, it was amazing. And some of the areas of like, you've got, as a soul, we have a soul name. We have colors and auras of our soul. We have a waterfall of healing, an area where the healing masters help a soul to heal after every lifetime. And we've got our soul guides, junior and senior soul guides. We have a soul group that we belong to, a soul family in heaven. And we change roles around in families. We, relationships, friends and everything, we swap roles around like making a movie. And we agree to what lessons we want to learn and what karma we wish to pay off. There's a library of souls where we have a book of life that has all our history of our past lives that we can go and read while we're in heaven. And the pages are active, they're immersive, so you can jump back into that movie and you can explore different choices you might have made in that past life and see that have made a difference. You know, was it good or bad to do what you did or take another path? So that helps to learn. And then we have our council of elders, our elder soul guides, our masters that help organise a life, our future life to Earth. They organise what country, what body, what area, what connections, what lessons. And they set it up for us with our free will. And then once after that physical lifetime, we return with our soul guide to the Council of Elders, and they like to hear how we went on that life, what we thought was important, what we thought we got right or wrong. There is no right or wrong. They just want to hear how our reaction was. And there's no judgment. That's the good thing. They're all lessons. They understand all students have different ways of learning. And the infinite patience and the infinite love and wisdom that the Council of Elders have, like grandparents, you know, very loving and understanding, and trying to help us to become the best we can be.
Yeah.
So above all of that is a beautiful sky, a beautiful light. And that's the light of the Supreme Being that shines down on everyone and is always touching everyone with the energy of love. Everyone feels that love in heaven. And they feel it more so around the Council of Elders, like the Supreme Being is sitting in on the session, enjoying listening to the stories and growth as well.
Yeah.
And helping guide the elders on helping us as well. So it's all one big circle of golden light of learning and love and healing. Yeah.
It truly sounds amazing and beautiful, for sure. Awesome.
It is. Yeah. And when people talk about losing people they love, it's a duality. It really is, because knowing what I know it's graduation day, that we're all going home to a beautiful place and a healing place. But in the physical world, as a physical person in that family or relationship or whatever, you have the pain of separation. You have the pain of loss and grief as well. And by knowing there is life after death, there is a beautiful place after that, it helps me to deal with the harshness here on planet Earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on the show. I really value this information and being able to talk to you about not only the paranormal stuff, because I don't get to do that much, but also all of these different concepts that are extremely important, especially, like you said, to have a better understanding of why we're here and to kind of help navigate through, you know, the fear of death and the fear of the unknown and knowing that there is something else out there. So thank you so much for that.
That's all right. Anytime.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for being here today with me. I'm really excited to share that I'm leading a pilgrimage to Egypt in September 2026. We'll be visiting some of the most powerful sacred sites on the planet, doing activation work, and connecting with the ancient wisdom that's held in those spaces. If that's calling to you, all the details are in the show notes. And if you're seeing repeated numbers everywhere and wondering what the universe is trying to tell you, I made a free angel numbers guide. You can grab that at www.divineascensionco.com/angel-numbers. I'd love to stay connected with you, so feel free to reach out through any of the links in the description. I'll see you in the next episode, and until then, trust what you know.